So today is Be'ez Hashem Chulin Daf Nun. We are the top of Nun Amid Beis. I just want to say quickly about what's that? Oh, Mem Tesam Beis. I'm sorry. We're on the top of Mem Tesam Beis. The Machlokes Rabbi Shmuel and Rabbi Kiva, which is going to introduce us to Chalevs. And the reason why we want to know what's the kosher Chalev and what's the non-kosher Chalev, because it's we're going to see that there's a rule that Chalev Tar is soisim and Chalev Tameh is not soisim. So we want to know what is counted as a good seal for a nekif. That's what the sugi is. But the Gemara was makdim. And Be'ez Hashem, besides that, there's going to be two side Gemaras, no shaykhs, about Giloi and about Evel, and hopefully we're going to get to all the way to Nun Beis for the many shittas about what the Keres HaPnimi is, which is Negeh Mamash, Negeh La'alocha, Lamaisa, about a hole in the stomach, and hopefully we'll be able to have a chance to see the real live Keva, Be'ez Hashem. The Gemara before said, the Gemara said like this, that Rabbi Shmuel Kahani is Messiah LeKahana, right? And the question, right, what do you mean Messiah LeKahana? Because he said that the Kahanim would eat the Chalev HaKeva, and that's going to be the shmuz. We're going to see that there's going to be a big machlokes Rabbi Kiva and Rabbi Shmuel about a certain Chalev of the Keva. We'll see which part of the Keva it is. We'll discuss that. That's going to be the Gemara. But Rabbi Shmuel Kani Messiah Lekana, he helped out the Kahanim, that he let the Kahanim eat the Keva. That's the now the Gemara asked the kasha. Yeah, the Gemara asked the kasha. The Gemara asked the kasha. The Gemara asked the kasha. What do you mean Messiah Lekani? Where do you see Messiah Lekani? So the question is, what do you mean when you see Messiah Lekani? It's simple where you see Messiah Lekani. He said that you could help out the what's called it, you could eat the keva. And since the Kohanim the Kohanim get kevas all the time. Kevas, every time somebody shechts, they give Israel. Last night by the Shechita, they gave Israel a keva to the Kohanim as well. They did a bracha. Right? So it's partial why he's Messiah Lekani. So Tosfos asked the kasha, and Tosfos says, "My Messiah Lekani, mishum pam achas lo yikareu Messiah Lekani." He's not going to be called the Messiah Lekani even in a siman because of one time. It must be something about birchas Kohanim. And the Gemara Taka says that he was Messiah Kani, that he gets a bracha together with Klal Yisrael. Right? That is what Tosfos says, which is a massive doichik. It's a siman. Why can't you call him Messiah Lekani in this case? So I want to be more a massive thing, and it's half of a fellow. What does it mean, Rabbi Shmuel Kahana? What does it mean, Rabbi Shmuel Kahana? Rabbi Shmuel Kahana Messiah Lekani. So Kipshuta, everybody understands that Rabbi Shmuel, that was a Kohen, is Messiah Lekani, right? Who's Rabbi Shmuel that was a Kohen? We know Rabbi Shmuel ben Elisha, right? Rabbi Shmuel ben Elisha, Palmachas Nechnasi Lufnai Lufnim. He's a very, very familiar figure. We all know him, right, from Avram Fried's fame, right? And he was a Kohen. So Rabbi Shmuel Kani. The problem is before now Gemara that the Bar Plukta, the Aruch asked this kasha. In fact, the Bar Aruch, what are you talking about? We're talking about Rabbi Shmuel. That's the Bar Plukta of Rabbi Kiva. He wasn't a Kohen. Mechtes, he was a Kohen. What's the Rabbi Shmuel Kahana Messiah Lekani? Yeah. Zogech, very gishmak. We're not saying Rabbi Shmuel Kahana Messiah Lekani. We're saying Rabbi Shmuel Kahana, meaning Rabbi Shmuel, the one that said Kohanim eat the keva, Messiah Lekani. They help out the Kohanim. So now, if the whole reason why he's called Messiah Kahana, Rabbi Shmuel Kahana, the one that said the member about Kohanim eating the keva, if that's the whole Rabbi Shmuel, so where's that going to Messiah Lekani? It's very gishmak. Rabbi Shmuel Kahana means Rabbi Shmuel that said that the Kohanim oichlin as the keva. That's what Rabbi Shmuel Kahana means. Not Rabbi Shmuel that was a kohen. So now the Gemara asks somewhere the kasha Messiah Lekani. What do you mean Messiah? My Messiah Lekani. Where do we find that it was Messiah Lekani? I the keva? No, that was what we called him. That's why we called him Rabbi Shmuel Kahana. That is, I think, emes lamita shal teira, very gishmak pshat. Also very important to read. This toisus, Velt's toisus, the Gemara said about Leit Rabbi Kiva that the Leit Rabbi Kiva that says that the Kohanim are not gebenched. V'ani avarchem is not going on the Kohanim. So where did the Kohanim get the bracha? So the Gemara v'avarchem v'archecha zokt toisus of Velt's toisus. He brings a Yerushalmi that this klal of avarchem v'archecha, it's a fascinating toisus, is also by a goy. A murdiga klal, that the pshat is that the Eibush Shtel Levek in the Bria, that Klal Yisrael is going to be this ummah, that they're going to be all over the place, and if somebody benches them, they get gebenched, and if somebody doesn't bench them, they don't get gebenched. It has something to do with it's something in the teva, and it's a half of a fellow digazach. So it's not the pshat is that Jews are so half of a fellow countries that love Jews, they're matzliach. It's pashut. It's mamish gevaldik. Why the Jews, the ones that threw out the Jews, they taka were not matzliach, but the ones that love Jews are matzliach because of this taisus. Afilu av dekechavim hamavochin as Yisrael the misbarchim. The Gemara in Yishalmi says that a guy told Rabbi Shmuel Shalom Aleichem. He said, I don't even have to answer back. You said Shalom Aleichem. It's great. Now we're going to today to what we're starting today. It starts on the bottom of the Omid. It's the last word in Daf Mem Tes Amud Aleph. And what we're going to say is like this. Let me say it outside to clarify. Okay, there's something very fascinating about chaylev of the chaylev that's not tar is chaylev that's not part of the meat. They have the marbleized fats in the meat. That's all part of the meat. That's not a problem. This separate chaylev is the chaylev that goes on the mizbeach, right? Bizman shebeis hamikdash kayim, and that's also to eat. It's a chaylev. Now that chaylev, we're going to see, has three properties, okay? And I'm going to show you a picture. We're going to Be'ez Hashem look at the cave later on, but I'm going to show you a picture of it first to be able to understand a little bit. One second. This picture is a murdiga picture. Again, it's not exact. This is of a deer, and this is not how it is in the animal. But if you see over here a very, very fascinating concept, what you see is that the chaylev, all the chaylev over here was just. It wasn't. Nobody had to. Nobody. There was no. You didn't have to scrape it off or cut it out. You just pull it off. Why? Because this chaylev has three unbelievable properties. First of all, it has around it it's in its own packet. It's in its own package. It has its own membrane. It's called a krum. It has a krum in this chaylev. It's separate from all the rest of the organs. It's separate, right? And not only is it separate, the krum is niklaf. It could be separated from the fats. You could just take it off, and the fats and the what's called it are separated. Yeah, that's one thing. It's krum v'niklaf. But not only that, it's also toisov. Toisov means it's like a clothing, like a beged. You just take it off, take it on. You could just take it off, right? We'll show what it looks like in the what's called it. Oh, but before we show what it looks like when the animal's together, but look over here. The issue is going to be this keva. Here we have the keva. What's the keva? Right? Famously, what's called it? A ruminating animal that's malagera, has four stomachs. So here he shows clearly the four stomachs. This one is right. This is the big keres. This is the rumen. This is the keres where everything sits for a long time. Here are the hemsis and the beis hakosis. Be'ez Hashem, I got a piece of hemsis and a piece of beis hakosis I'm going to bring in, but it's in the freezer for today. We're not going to bring that in. I just brought the keva for today. But there's the hemsis and the beis hakosis, and here's the keva. Now, our issue is going to be these two fats. There's fats here and fats here, right? Now, I want to just show you. I want to point out a thing. The shape of the keva. The shape of the keva is like a bow, right? So, and there's no fats here, and there's no fats on the other side. It's all on this side and over here. So we're going to talk about the chaylev of the bow and the chaylev of this that we call the ayatra or the bowstring. Okay, that's the chaylev of the keshes, the bow, or the chelev of the yatra, the two sides, right? Now, what is unique? Let's chaperein all the zachem what we have in front of us. What's unique about the chelev of the ayatra and the chelev of the keshes? They both unique, and we're going to see this, and we're going to see it in the Gemara. This one is krum, and it is niklaf. It is in its own packet, and it is niklaf. However, it's not toisov. Meaning, if you see, it doesn't go anywhere. You can't pull it away, right? It's all attached to the keva, right? So this is going to be considered krum v'niklaf, but it's not toisov, right? Good. This, on the other hand, yeah, and I'm trying to figure out where to stand. Okay, this over here on this part is we're going to see is going to be a machlokes. It's a machlokes. Why? Because it is attached a little bit, but it's attached right in the close. It's very attached, but basically the rest of it just comes off. So pashtus, this is toisav krum v'niklaf, and this is just krum v'niklaf. Okay, so the machlokes is about the chelev hakeva. What does that mean? What are we referring to? We're referring to this chelev hakeva, which is going to be a machlokes Rabbi Kiva and Rabbi Shmuel. What's the chelev hakeva? The question the Kahana Moichlin I say is this: why it's machlokes Rabbi Shmuel and Rabbi Kiva? That what? That like Rabbi Shmuel, like if you hold that it's only aser. If it's toisav krum v'niklaf, so then this is fine. If you hold that it's not that toisav krum v'niklaf, that it doesn't have to be toisav krum v'niklaf, all it needs is krum v'niklaf, so then this is aser. Okay, that's going to be the shaila. That's going to be okay. Now I'm just going to quickly show you one more picture, show you what it looks like when the animals together. Here they separated it. Let's just show you what it looks like together. Yeah, here is how it is all together, right? And you see the krum v'niklaf. You see the toisav krum v'niklaf. It's like just a coating that they wish to put around over the thing, right? It has no and you could just pull it right off, and it's taka separate. It goes. It's also we don't need it, and it goes on the mizbech. That is the thing. Okay, let's move on to the Gemara, and now with that hakdama in mind, we have. It's going to be a little complicated because Gemara we're going to see that there's going to be a stira in what Rabbi Shmuel holds, right? But so far Rabbi Shmuel is the makel, right? And he holds that what? He holds for it to be a problem is going to be he's matter he's matter the chelev of the cave. We'll see. Rabbi Shmuel Shamam Shemavois Ma'hi Detanya. Es kol hachelev asher ala kerev. The Torah is seemingly to say es kol hachelev asher ala kerev. Besides, again, there's the toisov that regular chelev that we know what we're talking about. Ala kerev we saw. Now we can appreciate what it means. Chelev shal kerev we saw it so many times in the Pesukim. Now we can appreciate what it means. The chelev shal kerev. It's very very clear what we're talking about. That very distinct fat that covers over the kerev, that like curtain like structure of chelev that's all in a krum. Okay, but as kol chelev, what's that coming to be? Marba moving to Amid Beis, Testament Beis, lahavi chelev shal adakim. That's to be marba what the chelev that's on the dakim. What's chelev shal adakim? We're going to see that soon. We're going to see Be'ez Hashem in the Gemara later on. What that is, this is the chelev on the beginning of the, after the stomach comes the small intestine. The small intestine, that first part of the small intestine is very unique. Both inside, we're going to see today, has a very unique mucus. And outside also, there's a certain amount of fat on that, chelev shal adakim. And that chelev shal adakim is what this mandama holds. It's the chelev outside the first part of that thing. Incidentally, that part is the part that they say craves sweets. And when they used to do all the bypass surgeries, one of the things was they would take off this piece of the beginning of the first amma of the after the cave. Again, by us we only have a cave. We only have one stomach. But anyway, that's the chelev shal adakim. That's not going to be so negay for our sugya. Dear Rabbi Shmuel, that's the as kol hachelev is libim marba. Rabbi Kiva This is the big one. Reb Kiva Omer, Lo Avi Chelu Shal Gabi Akeva. That Reb Kiva holds, no, Chelu Shal Gabi Akeva is a problem. So it's very geschmack. Reb Shmuel holds, Chelu Shal Gabi Akeva is mutter, and Reb Kiva holds it's also. So far, so good, right? However, we have a problem for a mini. What is the chaylev itself? What is included in the chaylev asher ala kerev? So Rabbi Shmuel. They changed it to Rabbi Shmuel. Ma chaylev hamachases akerev krum v'niklav. What's unique about the chaylev asher ala kerev? That it has its own krum. It's not like the fats that we have in our marbleized piece of beef, right? It's its own structure in its own krum v'niklav, and the krum comes off. Av kol krum v'niklav. So here we see Rabbi Shmuel is answering anything that's krum v'niklav. So what's going to be a problem? All the chaylev of the keva should be also like this Tanakama of Rabbi Shmuel, right? That's going to be the problem. That's what the Gemara is asking, right? Rabbi Kiva is going to be the matir. Rabbi Kiva ma chaylev hamchasas akerev toisav krum v'niklav. Not only does it to be aser, it's not enough that it should just be a krum v'niklav. It has to also be like a clothing, like attached like a clothing. It's not just enough that it has the krum that comes off. It has to be a tois of krum v'niklav. I've called tois of krum v'niklav. So it comes out that Rabbi Kiva is the matter. He should be the one that's Messiah Kani, and Rabbi Shmuel is the one that's asering, because he says krum v'niklav enough is asa. Yeah. So no. So far you did everything good. I asking a kasha on this brisa. We're gonna split. We're gonna turn the brisa. If we're turning the brisa and saying that Rabbi Kiva is the Mekel, so now we have a problem. Why is he Messiah Kani? We're going to get to it. First of all, my choz is the abchis kamaisa. Why are we changing the kamaisa, making Rabbi Shmuel the machmir epich bas raisa? Let's make the second one. Let's be mepich the bas raisa and say Rabbi Shmuel is the Mekel. The second one, the Tana was Meirich. He said, Ma chaylev is krum v'niklav, ma chaylev is tois of krum v'niklav. So if he was so Meirich, it's mashma, he was much more careful. He would have been much more careful to have gotten the names right, because he had a whole arichas. Mashing in the first one, it was just two shittas. They mixed up the Tanaim. It's not so shver, right? Yeah. Okay, so now we're back to square one. So if Kiva is the Mekel, he's the one that says you need tois of krum v'niklav, and if it's not until it's tois of krum v'niklav, lamashal the chaylev of the ayatra, the chaylev on the bowstring of the keva is like Rabbi Kiva is mutter, because it's not toisov, and like Rabbi Shmuel it's mutter. Shani hacha kiva the katani ma. Oh no, iachi Rabbi Shmuel. Why do we say Kirabi Shmuel that the Kahanim are Mekel on the chaylev of the Keva? Kirabi Shmuel, Kirabi Kiva he Machma Yitzchak Shama Mishum Avois of Leila Svirale. That and this is how it stays. That the Rabbi Shmuel's Messiah Lekani, it's not Rabbi Shmuel himself. We're talking about that the Rabbi Shmuel said in the name of his father Taka, but Taka and Echanami, which was the lashon of the Gemara before. But Leila Svirale, Rabbi Shmuel himself doesn't have that shita. So now it comes out very interesting. Rabbi Shmuel Shama Mishum Avois of, right? Sha'ama Mishum Avoisov is Sha'ama Mishum Avoisov is what we're remembering, even though it's not Rabbi Shmuel Shita. What's the vart? It's very mother now. So why are we saying Rabbi Shmuel? The teretz is, right? The teretz is very geshmak. The lefida vart that we said before, the whole simon was Yishmael Kahana. Why do we say Yishmael Kahana? He was Yishmael Kahana because he was the one that was matir. Why? Because it happens to be that the memra of Rabbi Shmuel was that the Kahanim are Mekel out Rabbi Shmuel Shama Mishum Avoisov. So we're not trying to remember that it was Rabbi Shmuel, which the whole simon is that it was the member that he said about the Kahanim. And Memela, who said that? It was Rabbi Shmuel that said this thing Mishum Avoisov, and that's where the Kahanim were Mekel from. So that's why Ataka makes sense to say Rabbi Shmuel, even though Rabbi Shmuel himself does not have that shita. Vaita, let's move on. So Vaita. Amarav. Okay, so to Gemara now. Why are we bringing in the sugya? This is the big sugya. Amarav chaylev Torah soisim. There's a very important ran over here. Velt ran. Amarav chaylev Torah soisim. Tami eni soisim. That what? Chaylev tahar, right? Chaylev tahar is something that's part of the meat. It's really stuck. It sticks to the meat. It's very gishmak. So that's soisim. That could stuff up a hole. No problem. Very it's simple. Tameh, but the tameh is a separate unit. It's not soisim, right? No, both of them could be soisim. One of the most oddest gemaras. Chaylev chaya mai. It happens to be, right, by the way, the pictures that we were just showing was a chaylev of a tzvi, right? It happens to be the Torah said that the chaylev of a tzvi is okay. But its properties are not any different, right? It's right? It's the same, it has this, it's the same, right? It's the same, not sticky, right? It's the same, right? It has no, so why should it make a difference? It's a plea, right? And Rashi says they didn't know what the reason is, yeah? It's a plea, right? What's the vart, yeah? Zokt the Ran like this. Zokt the Ran that there was a Havamin in the Gemara that they said Chaylev Chaya. Chaylev Tar Soisim, Tommy and Soisim is a Drabanan. What's the Drabanan? That the Pshat is they were afraid that if you're going to allow the Chaylev to be the Metaher, then people are going to think that this is mutter to eat. How could it be that this is matter the whole animal to eat and it's also to eat? So it must be that Chaylev Tar is Soisim. They thought that the pshat is that that's why Chaylev Tar is Chaylev Tar is in Soisim is not because of its pashut, its characteristics, that it's not a good steamer. So the Gemara But we have a or maybe it's taka because it's sticky and this is not sticky. Mighty boyaloch. It's not a shayla. Nihid the shari ba'achila aduki loy mehedik. By the way, sakti mar vaitem. Hahu nekev the sosma chelev. Tamei, there was a nekev that the chaylev tamei stuffed it up. The asl kamei the rava. Amar rava lemay nechishla. We have nothing to worry about. Why? We had a machlokes before. We had a machlokes between Reb Zera. We had a machlokes between Rav Sheshes and Rav. Rav said Chaylev Torah Soisim Tommy and Soisim, but Rav Sheshes said Echozev Soisim. So I'm going to be making like Rav Sheshes. For Chodo the Rav Sheshes Chaylev Tommy Nami Soisim. V'oid HaTorah Chasam Umenim Shayisol. Only Rav Papa the Rava. Rav v'isura da'iraisa ba'at amit ha'torah chosam amonim shal Yisrael. What do you? We have a shitas Rav and the issa da'iraisa, something da'iraisa of chaylev, and you're going to start cheshbonis of ha'torah chosam amonim shal Yisrael. It's not clear what the Havamina was. So the Gemara wants to, the Bechaz Avram wants to say pshat, very gishmak, that he held that it's Issa D'Rabbanan, like the Ran. Since the Ran says that there's a tzad that this klal is a D'Rabbanan, very gishmak. In the Issa D'Rabbanan, there's a svara Atayr Chasam Moinam Shei Yisrael. So how could we go and be machmer on something like this? So Avdem Zokta, no, it's a Issa D'Raisa, and since it's Issa D'Raisa, and you're gonna start mixing in svaras of Atayr Chasam Moinam Shei Yisrael, very gishmak and nice pshat. Zokti more right Minyumin Kanduka Igli Le Bistika de Dufsha. He had a what's called a container of dufsha of honey, and kiyadua honey was we all remember from Baba Kama fame that the honey was one of their most valuable ingredients, right? Again, he was nishbach kaddish al yayin, and he saved the kaddish al dvash. Kaddish al dvash was a yikar mitzias, right? A tremendous yikar mitzias. So Memela, and so he was iglilei bistika de dovsha. His bistika de dovsha was what became a gully. So we had a problem of what of gilui. Also, Gamei the Rava, Amar Rava, Lemay Nechishla. What are we worried about? Chod again, mamish the same exact Gemara like we had before, the same kind of a signal of Rava. Chod na shleisha mashkin asurim mishum gilui hayayin v'amayim v'achalaf. Only these three. Only Yayin, Mayim, and Chalav, nothing else. V'shar kol ha'mashkim mutarim. V'oid ha'torach ha'sav Yisrael. So Melo, nothing to worry about. Don't worry. Use it on the day. That's what Rava said. Amalei Rav Nachman Yitzchak Mamish, the same exact shakvataya. First of all, Reb Shimon, if it's hakonis defashes. First of all, we're going to see Reb Shimon asses by dvash. He holds that there is gilui by dvash. And second of all, sakonis defashes here. We're talking about the iser gilui. We have a problem of more choshish for the eretz nachash. So memelo, it's sakonis defashes. These are the cheshbonis that you're going to say, yeah. What's this Reb Shimon that Reb Shimon asks? There are 5 that there's no mishum gilui. Tzir, v'chaymetz, shemen, udvash, u'merayis. These things don't have a problem of gilui, right? That's what the Tanakhama says. But Reb Shimon says, Reb Shimon af hang yesh b'hem mishum gilui, and one of them is dvash. So we have a meforish what? We have a meforish the sheet of Reb Shimon. The Reb Shimon holds it's a problem, and right. Right, so Mamela, that's what Nachman Yitzchak's time to Rav was. Rab Shimon, ani isi nachash sheshasa tzir b'tzidon. I saw a nachash that drank tzir. Is this brine, right? Tzir is a what? Yeah, brine. B'tzidain amru loy, and the Chacham told him amru loy shat yahava ve'im avin ra'im and ashaytim. It was an unusual nachash. I guess they knew they knew about that incident. Ve'im avin ra'im and ashaytim. That's an unusual case. But anyway, that's the end of the story. Amalei. So Rava tells Rav Nachman by Yitzchak back. Oidi li miyos b'tzir. At least be moide to me b'tzir. That over there, okay. So I wanted to paskin what? I wanted to paskin like the Tanakhama that there's no gilui except by 3 things. By what? By shloisha mashkim asurim shum gilui ayayin v'mayim v'achol and nothing else. And you want is paskin like Reb Shimon that Reb Shimon has a whole other long list. So Zok Rava to back to Nachman Yitzchak. Oidili mias b'tzir. B'tzir, you gotta move over to my team. Why? The heart of Papa, when they had a problem of gilui, and there was a problem, they were choshish that maybe there was some venomous snake that put something into this liquid. Right? So they would say, what do you do to burn out the eris that it should somehow make it not dangerous? Put it into tzir. Put this mashkin into tzir, and since tzir has so much salts, it would somehow make it not dangerous, right? So zok there. So Vaisais tzir has no problem with gilui. Why does tzir not have a problem with gilui? Right? Why does tzir not have a problem with gilui? Because tzir because tzir tzir somehow burns out the eris. Yeah, that's the thing. Now there's a Rashi here that bothers me not shaykh, and I saw on the side of my Gemara Akasha, and I think one Chadim Mitaretz is b'chavet. I just want to say this real quickly. The l'chura there's something very unusual with Rava's Taina. Oidili miyos b'tzir. Tzir, again, we had a machlokes Tanaim. We had a machlokes Reb Shimon and the Tanakhama. Nobody holds tzir is not a problem, right? What was the question was? The question was, does a nachash drink from it or not? The Tanakhama said. The Tanakhama holds that he doesn't. Reb Shimon holds he does, right? I saw that he's the shasa tzir b'tzidain, right? And on that, right? Nobody's talking about if the nachash drinks it or not. You're coming to say a different problem. It happens to be that the tzir itself somehow burns out the eris. But you're not talking about if a nachash likes to drink tzir. What is it? He's not addressing the question, right? So it could be that's why Rashi, very unusual Rashi. Rashi says, over here, Zok Rashi, Oidili mias. Zok Rashi says, Oidili mias. Oidili mias is a very simple thing. You should come over to my team. And we're going to see what Nachman Yitzchak is going to say, you should be moided to me about something else. So l'chura, there's no real, why does Rashi have to be moist of anything? Rashi adds something. Zok Rashi, Oidili mias. One second, let's just find the Rashi. V'chi heichi the b'tzir less elchus hakavasei b'dvash nami less elchus hakavasei. Who said anything about the dvash? He said, listen here, we have a machlokes. If we go like the Tanakama, like Reb Shimon, and I'm saying, at least by saying, you should be like my team. That's Pashas how you learn the Gemara. No. So Rashi, that there's no how, that the halacha is not like him by tzir, because tzir is no problem of giloi, and therefore that's why you could put things into the tzir. So who adin by dvash? Where'd Rashi get this from? The teretz is because otherwise it's a pliya. What's Rava saying? Nobody holds tzir is not a problem. The teretz is right with that they're saying that tzir is that they're arguing that the tzir. That they say that tzir takes away the errors is not an argument legabi the Tanakama or Reb Shimon if the nachash drank from it, and for the fact, so Muzak Rashi, that what he's just saying is he's saying for the fact that you could pour into tzir says the halacha is not like Reb Shimon and the halacha is like the Tanakama. If the halacha is like the Tanakama, the halacha is like the Tanakama about everything, even the dvash. Sokti right, let's move on. Sokti Amalei Oidli Me'es B'dvash. Malay. So Nachbi Yitzchak answered him back. Oidli Me'es B'dvash. Reb Shimon Elazar Kaikavasi. The Tanya V'chein Reb Shimon Elazar Oisu B'dvash. Okay, next that's the end of that sugya. Sokti Gemara, another Gemara. We're moving quickly. Amar Rav Nachman Chelev Ha'osi Kikoiva Ein Esoisim. The chelev that's in the shape of a koiva. We don't know what this means. What does it mean? The chelev in the shape of a koiva, in the shape of a cap.
Koiva?
A koiva.
Chov, bov, reis.
Yeah, a hat, a cap. Kikoiva. Ein Esoisim. Hechi. So Gemara two pshatim. Either it means chiti de karkasha. Tarpasha the liba. So we're going to show you pictures. The Chulin Illuminated has more to get pictures of what this is. We're going to see the karkasha, and we're going to see Be'ez Hashem a little bit later on the bottom of Nun Amid Aleph about the rectum, right? Which is the last place where the food goes before it leaves the body. That rectum over there the Gemara is going to be talking about later on about that there shouldn't be a problem of that there's no problem of holes or chasa because it's a very closed in space. And yesterday by the shechita I forgot to take a picture of that. That would have been mamish. You see how there's like a mamish very clear that space is mamish like a channel. But anyway, that's what it's going to be later. But lemaisa on that, when you see that there's a whole bunch of the chelev is like round, a whole bunch of round things, so it's like a koiva. That's one shot. Or it means tarpasha deliba is the chelev on the lathe that I have Be'ez Hashem in the freezer. We'll see that tomorrow. We'll see that on Monday. But Be'ez Hashem, that also the chelev looks like somewhat of a hat. 1 second, I'll show you the picture. The two pictures that he has. Here, if you look, here's the rectum. Here we have if you see how it's like round little bubbles, that's called this is the karkashta, right? And then here is the what's called the tarpasha deliba. It looks like it's supposed to look like a little bit like a yarmulke on the side, right? That's where the what's called it. That's the two pshatim on the chelev ha'asik kikayva. So moving right along. It's not soisim. Here's the real fun. Here we're talking about the keva, right? So let's see a little bit Gemara, and then we're going to get to, we'll show Be'ez Hashem the keva. Chimtza ubar chimtza. Chimtza ubar chimtza. There's two parts. There's the chimtza and the bar chimtza. We'll see which one's which. But we can't say one's going to be the cash, one's going to be the bow, and one's going to be the bowstring, right? Chimtza ubar chimtza. Gemara weiter. Chimtza ubar chimtza. Chad sasim v'chad lo sasim. One is sasim and one is not sasim. V'lo yadana hei minay. Now here is a massive problem in the sugya. This is a Velt's shaila. The Velt's shaila is that l'chura one thing that the machlokes of chelev, if it needs toisef krum v'niklaf or just krum v'niklaf, should l'chura be completely unrelated to the shaila legabe soisim, right? Because what does it have to do? What do I care if it's a chelek of the? What do I care if it's like a clothing or not a clothing? But again, its ability to stuff up a hole, right? Right? Memela krum v'niklaf. I understand that it's krum v'niklaf. It's separated by a krum, and if it's separated by a krum, so therefore it's not soisim the whole completely, right? But the fact that it's toisav, the machlokes Rabbi Kiva and Rabbi Shmuel should l'chura be completely unrelated. That is a big problem in the sugya. We don't have time. We're steaming ahead. I don't know. I'll tell you. Bar chimtza sasim, v'chimtza loy sasim. And which is which? Amrav Tavus v'simanach. Very simple. Yafa koyach haben mi koyach ha'av. Very nice, simple. Because bar chimtza is sasim and the chimtza is not sasim. Very gishmak. Oh, so what's so the Gemara wants to know what's this? What's the hey chimtza? What's the bar chimtza? Right? What's that? Toshma the Omer Rav Nachman. Rav Nachman's going to say a klal, and based on Rav Nachman's rule, we're going to be able to understand what's the chimtza, what's the not chimtza, and that's what we're going to go on. Tam Rav Nachman inu meichel achli. There's this thing that Rav Nachman felt it was unfair that they eat it, meaning that they hold that it's mamish kosher. So we're going to go how, like the Gemara has two lashonis, and Rashi explains that this piece of the Gemara of the Raya from Rav Nachman is only going like the first lashon. So the first lashon is inu meichel achli, because the Bnei Eretz Yisrael and the Bnei Bavel disagree. What's the machlokes? The machlokes is if we paskin like Rabbi Shmuel or we paskin like Rabbi Kiva. That everyone's maskim that the chaylev of the kashes, the chaylev on the outside is tois of krum v'niklaf, and it's a regular chaylev, and it's also midaraisa l'kuli alma. The machlokes is like Rabbi Kiva that holds that I don't need tois of krum v'niklaf. Krum v'niklaf itself is, I'm sorry, like Rabbi Shmuel that holds it's going to be also by Krum v'niklaf itself. He holds that the ayatra, meaning the bowstring, is also also. Mashenga Rabbi Kiva holds its mutter. He holds its mutter. And the divisional labor goes that in Eretz Yisrael they paskin like Rabbi Kiva, and therefore they hold that that the chayil of the ayatra is mutter, and in Kol Agoyla, Rashi says, Kol Agoyla, meaning everywhere, in Bnei Agoyla and Ninu, everybody is following that, holds that the Ayatra is also. So Loit owns, everything's also. Sai the bow and Sai the bowstring. And Loit in Eretz Yisrael, they ate the bowstring, not the bow, but they ate the bowstring. Good? So far, so good. Oh, so Rav Nachman, Inu Mechel Achli, they eat it, right? What does it mean? They eat the bowstring. If they eat the bowstring, meaning it's so kosher you can even eat it. If it's so kosher, fish oil should starve.
They eat what?
They eat the bowstring. They eat the chalev that's on the bowstring, right? Uledidan mistem nami lo sosim. Could it be that it shouldn't be soisim? Okay, we're not going to eat it, but at least it should be soisim, right? So now very geschmack. Right? So what are we going to say? That the akashta is what we're going to call the chemtza, the longer side, and the bar chemtza is the bowstring, which is the shorter side. Very geschmack. Right? And the Gemara says, the akashta, the keshes, the bow, kuliyam, malay pligi da'aser. That's avad. Everyone holds it also. Ki pligi da'ayatra. The machlokes is only legabe the bowstring. That the bowstring in Eretz Yisrael they eat because they hold like Rabbi Kiva that it's not us until it's tois of krum v'niklaf. And we hold that it's also we hold like Rabbi Shmuel. Not like Rabbi Shmuel. We hold like Rabbi Shmuel that holds that what that the bowstring is also. But akapanim we hold that it's soisim, and that's why we hold that what. That the bar chimtza is soisim and the chimtza is not soisim. That is the cheshbon of the Gemara. Hopefully you got it clear. Okay, now one more shtick of Gemara, and then we'll see the cave, and then we have to mamish run through the rest of the Amud. Let's go. I want to finish the whole blot. I don't know if it doesn't look like it's happening. The shari. That what the ayatra meaning. So now this second lashon disagrees with this whole thing. This second lashon holds that everybody holds like Rabbi Kiva, and that you need tois of krum v'niklaf, And therefore, and again, it's not going to stem with Rav Nachman. It's a different shita again. And Rashi and Tosfos, they all cheshbon that all the Gemaras don't stem with this, and we don't pass like this. But this is how this other shita goes. That the machlokes b'nei Eretz Yisrael and the b'nei Bavel is not a machlokes if we pass like Rabbi Kiva or Rabbi Shmuel at all. Everyone's asking that we pass like Rabbi Kiva, that it's not usher until it's Tosef Krum V'Niklav. So therefore, since it's not usher until it's Tosef Krum V'Niklav, the ayatra, the bowstring, the smaller side, the barachimtza is kosher v'yasher. Everybody can eat it, no problem. Why? Because it's not Tosef Krum V'Niklav. So maybe it's fine. Everyone can eat it. Keep ligi. So what's the machlekes? Keep ligi da kashta. Now what's the machlekes ba kashta? So here I tried to in the akdama when we showed the picture the kashta the bow side, even though it is toisav somewhat. It is toisav, but even though it is toisav somewhat, there is a place that it is somewhat attached, and therefore the machlekes is gufa if that's considered toisav krum v'niklav or it's not considered toisav krum v'niklav. In other words, it is somewhat attached to the keshes, but it's not completely attached. So memela, so that's where the machlekes b'nei Eretz Yisrael and b'nei Bavel was about the keshes. The keshes is a gray area. Let's go through that shtickle. Okay, so here is the cave. If you see, this is the outside. It was in the refrigerator, so it's not so as soft as it normally is. But this is the cave, yeah. And here's the krum v'niklav. This is the Tosef krum v'niklav. You see how its mamish just comes right off, right? Over here, we're not talking about this. This is the chelev that's still part of the chelev shaladakin. What we're talking about is the chelev that's attached to the inside. This is the ayatra, the inside. The outside that goes around, that, if you look, it's not so easy to see, but if you look at it, it is attached along, it's not just like one little attachment. It's attached the whole thing, and that area is all, since it's attached to two places, so this is where we like the second lashon. It's a machlokes about. It's starting to drip. Yeah. Anyway, it's a machlokes about that area. If this is like the second lashon, it's a machlokes that this is Tosef Krum V'Niklav. Like the first lashon, it's not a shayla b'chlal. Everyone holds that this is Tosef Krum V'Niklav. You see how it's Tosef Krum V'Niklav. It's mamish, it comes right off. The only question is about this area. This is a machlokes because over here, not okay. I'm making a little bit of a mess, but this area over here is for sure not considered toisav. Okay, I'm gonna put it away and close it up, and hopefully I'll get rid of it. Did everyone see? I hope everyone saw. Okay. Okay. Ki ha the Amar Rabavia. The Amar Rabavia, Amar Ravami mekamsin. So what's Ravami? Ravami. We're going to see that Ravami was from Eretz Yisrael. And we're going to look at the first lashon that the machlokes is only legabi the cheir of the dayatra, the bowstring that we saw, right? Now, as we saw, there was a whole bunch of other fat that was attached to the fats that's in question, right? So you have to take off that fat. That's mekamtzen. You take that off, but the chelev itself that's attached to the keshes is no problem. Ki hadam Ravavia Amar Navami mekamtzen. V'chein Amar Rabbi Yanei Mishum Zoken Echad mekamtzen. Amar Rabavia Hava Kamina Kamei Ravami. Come to they just took they took off the top stuff and v'havulei. Come to v'havulei v'achal. Come to Vahavule. They took off and they gave it to him. The shamus of Reb Chanina was standing in front of Reb Shamus. Amalei, so Reb Chanina said, take off and give it to me that I should eat. Now, there's an interesting machlokes over here because it's a little bit mashma that it was already cooked and he's about to eat it at ready, which means that it was cooked already. This seems to be a makar. We'll see. Thank you very much. There seems to be a makar that there's there's chilkim between blias and not blias. We'll see. But anyway, he saw that he was a little bit hesitant. Oh, I know. I know why you're hesitant, because you're from Bavel, and you in Bavel, you're not going to eat the whole thing. So okay, take the whole thing and throw it out. No problem. I'm not gonna what's called. Not gonna make any problem. But anyway, but it's mashma a little bit that the pshat is that he wanted to eat it as is, meaning that it was already cooked together. It was cooked together. What's the shmuz? What's gonna help gumshti? L'chura what? L'chura it was already cooked, and there's a problem of blias. So Tanya Reb Shimon Gamliel says that nikvu bnei ma'ayin shenikvu lecha seismosen. There's a certain very mucusy wetness in the bnei ma'ayin. We see it's called the dunamus. I forgot what it's called. The beginning of the bnei ma'ayin, and that lecha is so mucusy, so strong, so consistency. That lecha itself could be soisim a hole.
Could be what?
Could stuff up a hole. So even It comes out if you squeeze it very hard, but it doesn't come out regularly. Yeah. Yeah. So you want to see what it looks like? Here's this here. He cut open this thing, and you see how it's a very thick. He has a scalpel there. Moving it's like very it has like a consistency of its own. So the mevela it's the reish mei the dudenim it's called. Anyway, okay. Sagt immer weiter. Sagt the heilige Gemara. 1 second. Sagt the Gemara. Yeah. The friend of Rav Abba learned from Rav Abba. Umane, who's the friend of Rav Abba? Rav Zera. The army law the other way. The army Chavraya Rav Zera learned from Rav Zera. Umane Rav Abba. Yeah, so obviously Rav Abba and Rav Zera were friends. One learned from the other. That what? That Omar Rav Abba B'rei Rav Chia Bar Abba Hochi Omar Rav Yochanan. That Rabbi Yochanan said 2 things. Halacha Reb Shimon Gamliel betreifa, that this halacha, that the lecha, that the mucus could be soisim. Halacha Reb Shimon be'evel. 2 halachas. Halacha Reb Shimon Gamliel betreifa hadamar, that we just said. This thing, we're going to get back to it. The halacha is like Reb Shimon Gamliel, that this mucus could be soisim a whole. And Reb Shimon be'evel mahi nan kol shlishi yom rishonim b'av mimakom karv. What are we talking? We're talking about if somebody was a family member that was not there when somebody was Rachmana litzlan nifter. So the question is if he has to start his own shiva, or he could jump on the train and go along with them, right? That's the shayla. Now, right? What's makom karv? A big machlokes rishonim. It's a big machlokes rishonim. And what's interesting is that our Rashi over here is one of the big makaris, right? That of what it is. But Rashi, so we're going to go with Rashi over here. Rashi over here, makom karv is that he was that there was a possibility for him to have heard. He's close enough to have heard. He's b'makom karv b'soich mahalach yom echad v'royu l'das b'bayayim af pish yada. That's what a makom karv is. If he was within, he could have heard about it that day because he's within a day. So he could have heard about it today. That's called a makom karv, right? And therefore he's right. But makom karv iso. So again, you need 2 things. First of all, it's shloisha yom. He showed up within 3 days, and it was mi makom karv, my name. Mi makom rachik, but if he came from makom rachik, is moina la'atzmai. If he was further away, he's not considered part of that. He has to start over shiva himself. But if he comes after 3 days, afilu mi makom karv, moina la'atzmai. But if he doesn't show up for the first 3 days, too late. That's it. He has to start himself. Then no, he doesn't. There's no cutoff date. As long as he comes in within the shiva, he could hop on the train within the 7 days. Yeah, there's a lot of Torah about it, but we don't have time. What? No. So we're going to see. I think we do.
No,
I think we do.
If somebody needs an American, the son came from Eretz Yisrael.
Oh, so the shaila is Mokum Karv. This is a big shaila halacha. The poskim already started talking about when there was this major thing called the Rakeves HaBarzel. When the trains were created, so now Mokum Karv, where things places are coming much closer, and now for Shteitzach with the airplanes.
Now, half a day could be
Yeah, you could go around the world. Yeah. So that's shmuzin. Right. Sagt mal, who iski ve'esik ve'egmer l'shmaitzah mepuma demara. I hope to go to Eretz Yisrael. I'll go and I'll hear the shmaitzah from the one himself. Mamish hear from his mouth itself. Kisol, when he went to Eretz Yisrael, Ashkechel Rabbi Brei Rav Chia Barabi, he met him. Amalei, Amamara, Loch Rab Shimon Gamliel B'Treifa. Is it true that you said over that Rab Shimon Gamliel B'Treifa? Amalei, Ein Alocha Amri. No, Pung Vaker. I said Ein Alocha. Oh, then he asked her, how about the other thing? Rab Shimon Be'evel Mai? Amalei plucked in a new. Over there also you got the shmur wrong. I said that it's a machlekes. The Rav Chizlam halacha, v'chein Amar Rav Yochanan halacha, Rav Nachman Amar ein halacha. Sagt the Gemara and the Gemara paskins ve'ein halacha Rav Shimon Gamliel b'treifa, halacha Rav Shimon be'evel. Why? Because by treifa it's a deraisa, something deraisa. But Rav Shimon be'evel is dabang. Damar Shmuel halacha divrei ameko be'evel. Moving right along, we're moving on to another sugya. Makifim b'bnei mayin. Makifim b'nei mayin. What does that mean? Makifim b'nei mayin, meaning that if makifim means always to bring things close. And if you have a hole, and you don't know when it happened, you don't know if it happened before the shechita, after the shechita. Now, why exactly we have to be choshish al tashayla? Again, we have this problem, major problem, that l'chura we have a klal of chazakis, and l'chura there's a chazaka of the Gemara Daf Tes. So when do you say the chazaka? When do you not say that chazaka? This Gemara is going to be another maramaka for that. But anyway, in a place where we have to check, and you don't know if the nekev happened after shechita, before shechita. So what we do is you take another piece of nemayin and you poke it, and you look if they look the same. In other words, if this nekev and that nekev look the same, if they look the same, so obviously they both happened after shechita. If they don't look the same, then you have to be choshish. That you have to. We understand why it looks different, because one happened before shechita, one happened after shechita. They put it close. They weren't similar. Not similar, meaning that one happened before shechita, one happened after shechita. This is a treifa. Also, Rav Misharshi Brei. So Rav Misharshi, the son of Rava, came, and he has a trick. Memashbish behu. He started to massage the new hole. And all of a sudden they look the same. Amalei, so Rava says, Manolacha. Amalei, simple. This is, we had a dakin, we had an animal that people had a problem with, and there were a lot of people that were handling it. So I understood that with the first part, the one that had the hole. So now I knew that the second one, for it to be similar, they also have to be touched. Kama Yodi Memashrish Rahani Bekami the Lace the Kamon, the Mar. Oh my lace, so Rava said about his son, to Chakim Beri Betrefes Kerab Yochanan. We had this Gemara earlier, also in the beginning of El Trefes. Moving to another Gemara. Makif and Bereya, we could, when it comes to a lung, the same thing, Makif and Bereya. If you have a hole, you put it next to each other. It has to be on the same side, not two sides. Two sides of the lungs, the right, the left. No, that one color won't show for the other. No problem. From one side to the other side, it's also good. Midaka, lidako, migasa, ligasa. You got to stick to your type. Midaka ledaka or migasa legasa. V'loy migasa ledaka, v'loy midaka legasa. So Rashi over here says two pshatim. The first pshat Rashi says that we're allowed to compare different animals in Gansen, and we can compare different animals, but stick to the level, your basic level. Yeah, you have to be in heavyweight or in what's called the mid level, right? So daka legasa, gasa ledaka, but from one animal to the other, it's no problem. But then Rashi says no, but the ikk is avada. We can't compare a different animal. It's got to be the same animal. But in the same animal, from the lungs, when we say daka and gasa legasa, we're talking about the umois and the oini. We have those ears, the top ones, and then we have the bottom ones, the big ones that are big. Those are called the gasa. The top ones are called the daka. You have to stick to dakas, compare dakas to dakas and gasas to gasas, but you can't compare from the big lobes to the small lobes. You could be makif bekana when you have a problem, a hole in the air pipe, windpipe. Again, we could make a makif. We could do the same thing. It has to be within the same chulya, which is 3. I brought along a chulya. Yeah, here's a chulya is the ring of a kana, right? It's got to be in the same chulya, which is three lines, right?
It's a bone, no?
What?
The chuli is a bone.
It's not a bone. It's cartridge. It's cartridge, and it's like a U, right? You'll see. It's a U, and it's attached, right? We have it over here, right? So, but it's only from the what's the bar chulya? Because the bottom is very thick, but on the sides it gets much thinner. So the point is, so it has to be similar. The new sugya, chal choiles. What's the chal choiles? Chal choiles is the kakashta. That's the where the animal goes to the bathroom. Because the Metzias is that part is a tunnel. It's supported from all sides. On the top is the tail. On the bottom is the on the two sides you have its legs, right? And then on the and then there has the pelvic bone in front of it. So Mamela, it's mamish attached from all sides. So Mamela, we have nothing to worry about. Very interesting. Rashi says over here, we have nothing to worry about the nekev because nothing is going to spill out. It's a little bit mashma in Rashi that whenever we're choshish for a nekev, we're worried about something spilling out, not something coming in. Interesting. If it's the makam hadevek, the place where it's attached to machlokes, you show them exactly where it is, but one of the places where it's very, very close to the pelvic bone. So over there, it's mamish around it. Berubay as long as you have roiv. Shloi b'makam hadevek. If it's not shloi b'makam hadevek, meaning in a place where it's a little bit more exposed, b'mashu. Then you have a problem with mashu. Amru Rabban kamei de Rava Mishmei de Rav Nachman. Lav mi amina l'chul loy tetli be buki sriki. Don't say things that are silly. Hachi amar Nachman makam hadevek afilu nito kuloi. Even if it's completely taken away, it's kasha. V'hu den ishtay by ketei tvisa. Mamish mashu. What's a ketei tvisa? Mabaya kimoli. One finger size by a tura is enough in the makam hadevek because since it's so sealed up, there's nothing to worry about even if the kakashta is gone.